Oh yeah. It's North Coast football time. Why, hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is John Clark here for another weekly recap for the North Coast Football Fantasy Football League. Yes. I'm finding some things out about myself. And the first thing that I found out about myself this week is that I look forward to these a lot more after a win. Spoiler! Shh. But before we get into the oh-so-sexy matchups this week, let's take a look at the league standings. Hey, look at this. Look at this. Oh, goodness. We've got just a couple highlights here. Look, the world just feels a little bit better when there's a John in the number one spot. Now, it's not the best John. Everyone knows I'm the best John. But it just feels a little bit like it's the world is in a good place. And that's saying something for right now. But we've got Mr. Bones Bombers who hopped up 3 spots to take the number one spot there, Mr. John the Elder. And so him and Marsala Maulers, Vince and John the Elder, are the only 2 teams at 5-1. Oof. We're going to get into some matchups. There were some juicy ones this week. So that just tells you a lot. There's only 2 teams that are 5-1 still. Just going right on down the former leader Josh and his wet ass Pips. They fell 2 spots. I wonder why that was. But moving on down here, we're getting a lot of 4 and 2s, a lot of 3 and 3s. I mean, every week matters. Every week matters. You got to fight for your spots now. And then, what's that? What's that I see down there? For Castleton. Finally moving up instead of down, because boy, oh boy, did I move down. Oof. Going up 2 spots. Look, I posted on the message boards. It's about time for me to make my playoff run. I've been messing around too much. I've been playing around with you guys. So this week, I'm turning things around. I'm playing for serious. All right. Hey, how about we get into these matchups? Yes. Vince and the Marsala Maulers. They had their easy week. So they had their bye week, but let's take a peek and see what their team did. All right, Vince. A 90.32. Again, I know you didn't set your optimal lineup. I say that every week about the person on bye. But I will say this. I will just front load the entire thing by saying really, really low scores this week. The league average was 103. That is the lowest it has been. By far. By a good 10 points. You usually expected about 110, 115 right in there. The only weeks we've had lower than that was week 1 with 106 and this week with 103. So there's going to be a lot of bleh. So let's figure out where Vince's team is right now. So Matty Stafford now, Derek Carr being on bye. I mean, you were on a bye week anyway, but Derek Carr, he didn't goose egg. He was on bye obviously. So Matt Stafford turning out 12. Oof, from a QB. That's especially from Matt Stafford. He's been pretty solid, but that's pretty. You don't like to see that. But Ronald Jones coming through for you with 28 points. Man, I think Tampa Bay was getting a little bit of a revenge game here because of what they did last week. They're like, we know how to play football. And Ronald Jones was the beneficiary. There we go. The beneficiary of that. 28 points. Antonio Gibson, absolute floor play. There you go, 7.5. DeAndre Hopkins, that's a floor. Cooper Kupp, oof, that's the basement. Oh, that is the basement. Blech, 2.6. And then Gesicki. Hmm. All right, and then Mr. Cole Beasley getting you 12. There you go. You know, again, you weren't really going after anybody, and it's probably a good thing you weren't, because this week would have been pretty rough. Now, looking at your bench, DJ Shark getting 8. I mean, what are you going to put him over Hopkins and Kupp? You wouldn't have done that anyways. Maybe in your flex. But, yeah, I mean, you've got some good flex options here. I don't know. Anyway, you know, you've got Evan Ingram and Gesicki as your 2 tight ends. Meh. Anyway. All right. You know, you did okay. Just be glad you weren't playing anybody, because chances are the 90 probably wouldn't have gotten you very far this week. Anyways, all right. Let's go to the head-to-head matches here. Okay, hey, we've got These Unprecedented Times against Bones Bombers. Now, I'm starting with this one because this was the only game that was not close. I believe Dan from These Unprecedented Times, I believe his exact message to Bones during the matchup was, Uncle. I probably would have used stronger language, but Uncle pretty much says it all. It wasn't close from the get-go, and this was a slaughter. Anytime you win by 65 points, some players done goofed. So, when you look at Aaron Rodgers, and he's been balling out, he has, unexpectedly so. And when he goes into a game where people are expecting him to do what he's been doing, and then he doesn't, well, that's how you get 3.8 points from your franchise quarterback, Aaron Rodgers. Definitely an outlier situation. It's pretty awful. We're going to be saying that a lot about the performance of a lot of your players. 3.8. Look, at least you got that out of his system in a week that it wasn't close. Like if he was the deciding factor, that would be really something. That would be like, holy crap, Aaron Rodgers, you let me down. But the truth be told, you were let down all over the place this week. So, Philip Lindsay getting you 13. Hey, compared to the rest of your team, that's great. Fantastic. 13.1. And then we get to Alexander Madison. So, we see right there on your bench, Dalvin Cook, he was out. And all the experts were like, if Madison is on your waiver wire, you spend all your fab, blow your waiver position, all that crap, because you're going to buy yourself a win. Look at him now. 3.5? Boy, was Minnesota a mess. Boy, were they a mess on that game. I couldn't watch it. I wanted to watch it. I really did. But Mr. Kirk Cousins. Let's see if anybody played him. Let's see. All right, Will Fuller, he's just been fantastic. Oh my gosh, 24 points from Will Fuller. Obviously you'll take that. You'll take that every week if you can get it. Jerry Jeudy, some people are so down on Jerry Jeudy right now. I don't see why. He had a down week. Tons of people had a down week. You're not going to drop him. Maybe you are going to drop him. I wouldn't drop him. But, yeah. TJ Hawkinson, hey, 8 points from your tight end. There you go. Take that. DJ Moore, there's your floor play for DJ Moore. I'm looking down on your bench here. Let's see. We already mentioned Dalvin Cook was out. Now, you were a lot. You were quite the victim of your bye weeks. Josh Jacobs and DK Metcalf, there you go. That's a pretty rough 1-2. So again, going up against probably the one of, if not the best team in our league with Bones, missing those two guys, you're at a disadvantage already. Now, he wasn't immune from the bye weeks either, but I think it hit you a bit more. That combined with Dalvin Cook's injury, you started off in a hole anyway. All right, well, listen, Dan, good luck going forward. Obviously I don't think you're going to have to make any moves. It's not time to panic unless you want to panic trade me Josh Jacobs. That would be fine. I wouldn't mind that. Panic trade me, Dan. Anyway, okay. So John the Elder with Bones Bombers, 145, the top scorer of the week. By far. By far. Look, when the league average is 103 and you score 145, holy crap. Holy crap. Lamar Jackson getting you 30. That's the Lamar Jackson that's what you want to expect every single week. I don't want to say he's been a disappointment, but there are some weeks when he's getting you 17 or you're like, man, where's my 30? There it is. There it is. It's on the screen. Now him combined with Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry might. You ever seen videos of LeBron James playing basketball when he was in high school? He looked like a grown man playing with kindergartners. Like, that's what that video footage looks like. Derrick Henry looks like a grown-up playing with kindergartners. Maybe middle schoolers. He's just breaking tackles and dudes hanging off him while he's just running like it's his thing. Derrick Henry, boom, 43 points. Man, oh man. Good on you. I mean, between those two guys, those two pretty much, got you within 6 of Dan. There you go. So there you go. Damian Harris, obviously, you had your bye week with Mr. Chris Carson. Damian Harris got you 3. Tyler Boyd getting you 10. That's, Boyd's been a little bit of a question mark. Like, I don't know if 10 is his floor anymore, but yeah, in that game, because they were definitely slinging it. But anyway, all right. Christian Kirk. Oof, man, I watched that game. Both the Monday night games. I mean, a lot of these matchups came down to it. Came down to Monday night. If not all of them, but most of the matchups in our league. Now, this one, you were so far ahead on Monday night, you didn't have to worry about it. But watching Christian Kirk catch that long bomb, the smile on his face afterwards, I've been waiting for Christian Kirk to do stuff. I mean, he's always really tempting to play because he's got weeks like this. And then he'll have weeks where he disappears. So good on you for playing him on a week where he got you something, got you a lot of something. Busted through his ceiling this week. Okay, Kelsey. Okay, look, how many times are you going to rub it in our face? Okay, you have a good tight end. Shut up about it. No, Travis Kelsey. There you go, man. 19 points from him. I don't know. I've talked about your positional advantage and the fact that we let you get some pretty good running backs and wide receivers on top of that. So there you go, Travis Kelsey. And there's MVS again. There's MVS. Tried telling you. I don't think you had any other options, to be honest, because of your bye weeks, but 4.7 from MVS. Let's see who you're getting back, though. Oh, Tannehill. He also got 31 points. How about that? You have 2 really good QBs on your roster. So getting Carson back and Josh Kelly back, I think that's going to be, there you go. I mean, I knew you didn't have Carson. I didn't realize you didn't have Kelly as well. And then, yeah, Zach Moss, John Brown, band. And then Njoku down there. Anyway, look, you've got obviously a good lineup to get you through those horrible bye weeks. This being one of them. And still getting 145 and going through that. Look, I know it's Captain Obvious time, but keep doing what you're doing, man, and you're going to walk into the championship, into the playoffs. You'll walk into the playoffs. If I were a betting man. Okay, all right. Hey, all the other matchups going forward are really tight. Really tight. And some not in a good way. Hey, let's check them out. Huh? Let's do it. Come on. Come on, let's check them out. Here we are with 8-bit defenders against Finns. So Adam and the 8-bit defenders. Adam had a lot of choices to make this week. A lot of choices. With his roster, with his lineup. Matt and the Finns did not have choices to make due to bye weeks. So it was the decision time against the this is what I've got game. And what the results of that was the second widest spread in the league. Yes, that's right. That's right. We go from 65 points to 5 points. I mean, technically less, but roughly 5-point difference. And, you know, just like many of the matchups, it came down to Monday night. Both teams had players on the Monday night games, and both teams had players who disappointed, and then players who, holy crap, where have you been all my life? Let's start with Adam and the 8-bit defenders, getting 112. So both teams ended up with well over the weekly average. So, you know, for Adam, it just kind of sucks. It was one of those weeks where you would have beat a lot of the other teams. Anyways, Big Ben, you know, there's an off week for Big Ben right there. Just shy of 11 points. You know, you don't expect, or do you want that from your quarterback, especially Big Ben? You know, I haven't checked. I wonder if the home away splits are holding true this year with the differences with the crowds and stuff like that. I wonder if that's I'll have to look into that. But anyways, another time. Adrian Peterson getting you a little bit, and then kaboom goes Kenyon Drake. Ooh, Drake owners have been waiting for this week. They've been expecting not 31 freaking points, but they've been expecting higher production earlier on in the season. Well, there you go. You finally got it. 31.4 from Mr. Kenyon Drake. Whew, boy, oh boy. Maybe you can just, you know, copy that and paste it for next week. Maybe. If only. All right. And then Chris Godwin getting you 7. And then Claypool, you know, getting you 16. That's fine. Especially looking at Big Ben's stat line, getting 16 from Chase Claypool. You know, good pickup. I know he was on your bench last week when he kaboomed, but hey, good pickup. And George Kittle, man, oh man. You know, I'm not trying to put anything into your head, but considering how tight ends are, his trade value must be stupid right now. But anyway, I'm not telling you to trade him. I'm just saying. Let's see. Mark Ingram getting you 2 points. You know, this is where I was talking about where you had decisions to make, right? And it seems like it's going to continue, because if we look at your bench, you've got a lot of good players on your bench who, you're never quite sure when they're going to go off. I mean, no one's ever really sure, but I mean, AJ Green has been, what? Come on, like, and 13 from him. I mean, you'd expect that to be his floor this year, right? But James White, he'll have his weeks, and this week got you 11. Darius Slayton, and then you had Hunter Henry on bye. Well, there you go. And Dalton Schultz. Look, I don't know going forward what's going on with Dallas. Well, I know what's going on with it. They have Dalton as their QB. That's what's going on. I mean, I think as we're looking at more Dallas players, we're going to be like, going forward, man, oh man, a lot of them. So, you're definitely going to need to pay attention to matchups, and don't just go off of NFL's projections. Please don't do that. They are so wrong. So many. God. You'd think they would have the best analysts, but they have the worst. The worst. Whatever their algorithm is, whoever programmed it, it's like, this guy's going to get 12 points, and he gets 2. This other guy's going to get 12 points, and he gets 30. Whatever. Don't just do projection and plop that guy in, right? All right. Moving over to Matt and the Finns, getting the W here with 117. Like I mentioned, you didn't have a lot of like tough decisions, start-sit decisions, because so many guys were on bye. Josh Allen, he's going to be your weekly starter there. And now 15 from him is, I mean, it's pretty disappointing, but it's no 10.9. Malcolm Brown, LA's running backs. I don't know if there's any moves you can make to try to alleviate yourself from that situation, but that's a mess. I mean, I've got one player from that running back core, and I'm done with him. DeAndre Swift coming through for you. Look at that, 28.8. Very, very nice. And then Julio. Boy, what a roller coaster Julio's been putting you on. Oh, he's questionable. Is he in? Is he out? Oh, wait, he says he's great. He wants to play. 32 points. That is straight ridiculous. Man. So, obviously, him and DeAndre Swift, the next time you see him, buy him a beer. Because they did great things for you. Marvin Jones, yeah, I had him on my roster for a bit. Look, I know you didn't have a lot of options. You had absolutely no options. I know. So 1.8 for Marvin Jones. Look, at least DeAndre Swift came through for you from the Lions there. Kyle Rudolph getting you 6 when they had a game like that. All right. And then Preston Williams. He's I think he's becoming a lot more stable. I mean 8.8. You're not jumping up and down over that, but so many players were at their floor. If that's his floor going forward, I think, yeah, you got. Now, news came out that Mr. Tua is their QB going forward. No Fitzmagic anymore. So I know that stamps a gigantic question mark on that, on all the Miami guys. So, we'll see. We'll see what happens going forward from there. But maybe something we don't, being a Finns fan. I don't know. Something you'd like to share with everybody? That would be nice. Nothing to talk about on your bench, because the only thing that scored points was Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones against the Washington football team. All right. That's it. Okay. Hey. Both teams, like I said, they performed better than the average, which was crap. But that could be only one winner. Unless there's a tie. So, congrats going forward. You guys are both right there. Just under the middle of the pack, right? So, all right. Anyway. Moving on. Considering that this was my favorite matchup of the week, it almost gave me an aneurysm. I felt it coming on. There was just any second. It didn't happen, but it several times. We've got for Castleton against Kurt and Feeling Fine. So this one. Man, oh man, what can I say? What can I say? This one, this win drove me bonkers, absolute bonkers. So a lot of Kurt's Feeling Fine. A lot of his matchups were front loaded to the early games on Sunday. So he got a lot of points real quick, and then had a couple here and there, and then for Monday he had Amari Cooper, and I had a couple people of my decent players for Monday, but what I was really rooting on was the Green Bay game. So let's go through and see what happened, right? Let's see what happened. Starting with Fort Castleton here. So after the Sunday games, I was down by quite a bit. I believe it was 40, right around there. The deficit was about 40. And most of that was because Aaron Jones and Devontae Adams both were at their absolute floors. 11.6 from Aaron Jones and 9.1 from Devontae Adams. I have both of them on my team. I expect one of them to have great games. But we already saw Aaron Rodgers, what he did, the dumpster fire that he produced. And that's what happens, right? If you have a surprisingly bad performance from a good QB, well, their RB1 and wide receiver 1 are going to suffer. So 20 points from both of them is poof. That was just awful. Terry McLaurin hitting his floor. He seems to be, I don't want to say QB proof, but that's his absolute floor right there with the 10.9. I like it when he gets the 100+ yard games. And, but this week, it definitely wasn't that. It definitely wasn't that. And against the Giants, too, anyway. Zach Ertz, you're hurt. Good. I don't have to worry about putting him in my roster anymore and being okay with it. It's not good. Look, it sucks that he got injured. Please don't take me saying, "Oh, good, it helps my decision making because he got hurt," as me being thankful he got hurt. No, I don't like that he got hurt. But the fact is, Zach Ertz has a name, and you expect more from that name. And this year, nope. And then Robert Woods getting his floor. I mean, look at that. I mean, so the picture for after Sunday was not good for me. I thought I was done for. 40-point deficit going in. But then, boys and girls, fantasy gods looked down upon me and said, "No, Monday night will be good for him." So Clyde Edwards-Helaire getting 21, just under 22 points. Whew, man, fantastic. If I remember right, that's his second best game since week 1. So good on him. I hope Kansas City realizes, look, he's not their touchdown guy. He's not your goal line guy. He's not the biggest running back. But the dude runs and runs far when he gets a little opening. He gets yardage. I know the whole thing with them signing dude McAllister over there, Le'Veon Bell. A lot of people are like, "Oh my gosh, Clyde Edwards-Helaire is done for." I don't think so. He was doing okay before that, and he wasn't getting the goal line touches. I could go on and on, convincing myself that I'm okay still keeping him. I put him out there. I put him out in a couple trades. Not him by himself. That would be like me hoping that people didn't hear about Le'Veon Bell. Certainly not. but trying to get some value from him. I'm glad I held on to him, because if anybody had accepted those trades, I would have lost this week. So I'm thankful. Anyways, Clyde Edwards-Helaire coming through, and then Kyler Murray. God bless that little man and his little running legs. Oof. He did a number on it. I mean, it was Dallas, so I expected a good game. I did not expect it to be that good. 28, just under 29 points. All right, so on the bench, my bench is useless except for Justin Jefferson. He won me an award this week from NFL.com. You had the highest scoring player on your bench. Congratulations. Shut up, NFL.com. Some of them, Latavius Murray was on bye week. Wasn't going to play him anyways, but he was on bye week. And Mecole Hardman and Cam Akers. No, they didn't have bye weeks. They didn't. Those are natural zeros. Natural zero. And then Fitz, he's done, right? Tua's going to be their QB going forward. So, okay, bye. Bye, Fitz. You were fun to watch while you were there. All right, and I guess I got Eric Ebron going forward, so I'll take my 1 to 2 points for my tight end position. All right. So, look, when it's all said and done, I was happy. But up until literally the last drive when I saw Dallas put in, what's his name? Clarence McGovern, was that his name? Nobody knows what the backup to Dalton is. So, anyway, when I saw him go and just handing it off, I was thankful. Because Amari Cooper only needed one more reception, maybe two, but one more and I would have been sunk. So let's take a look at Kurt. Atlanta, surprising everybody. Much to my chagrin, with 34.6 points. Holy crap. And that's what I'm talking about. I see that, right? I see that. And I am hurt. Now, you had to play McKissick. I get it, because of your bye week. But he got you 11 points. I saw him getting more involved in the game, because obviously I watched it. Washington's my team. And it, I was like, why this week? I was like, it's happening again. It happened with Antonio Gibson. He had his game against me when I went up against Vince, and it was happening again. But 11.4. But there you go. Your bye week fill-in, he did okay for you. Miles Sanders, he was looking okay, and then, oh man, you hate to see it. Kenny Golladay, you made the trade for him. He came through, 15.5. There you go. And then is the interesting play. Now, I know I skipped over Cooper. I'm coming back. You warned me that you were double tight ending it this week. Now, I don't know if was your thinking you wanted to try to snag some points during the Green Bay game because I had a Green Bay stack. I don't know if that's what you were thinking. But gutsy play. And it lost you the week. Because if you'd put anybody else in there, yeah. So your Chargers guys on bye week, and Melvin Gordon was out for the week. You knew that going into it, so no surprises there. I think you might be some sort of soothsayer picking up Travis Fulgham. Now, obviously you weren't going to put him in your flex, right? Obviously that wasn't going to happen. But he's one of the hot pickups this week, and you've already got him. So way to go. And then T. Higgins getting 18. Cincinnati, it's hard to play them with confidence, even though they're playing well, but they're not on a winning team. So I get it. Yeah, I'm very thankful that you didn't put them in your flex there. Now going back to Amari Cooper. Man, 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 did he make me nervous. Because I had about a 10-point lead for much of that game, the last game of the week. And then Dalton got in the red zone, and I'm like, they better not throw it to Cooper. And I just knew it. I'm like, he's going to get a TD. And boom, there it was. 6-point swing, whatever it was. And then I thought, well, they're not going to get another drive. There's no way they're going to get another drive. And then the Cardinals ran it in for frickin' forever. And they were getting another drive. And yeah, I thought I was done for. But anyways, stayed up late, watched the end of it. Well played, Kurt. You know, one of those weeks you would have beat everybody except for me and Bones. I was a second place in points with 124. That, again, just shows you how low these scores were this week. Yeah, rough week, man. Anyways, hey, good luck going forward. We've got the same record. Yay! All right, taking a look at the next matchup here. Scott and the Hopeful Yokel against Steve with Roy. So, this one's a little tighter. Just a little bit. The previous matchup was just over 3 points. This one is just under 3-point difference, right? You're going to see that trend continue. So, Scott was able to pull through here. Again, it came down to the last game, and it wasn't till late in the last game that he secured his victory. So we're going to take a look at that. 94 and 91. Okay, here we go. So, Scott, let's take a look and see what you guys did. Start off talking about Andy Dalton. Well, I bet you're going to be glad you get Drew Brees back. Okay, let's just say that. You were another victim of some severe bye week issues. I mean, you knew going in, you had that New Orleans stack. You knew, hey, when they have a bye week, I'm going to cross my fingers. Well, you survived it. All right, that's really all you can hope for. So anyway, but Andy Dalton gets you 11 points. So when you were going into Monday night, if I remember right, you had about a 6-point deficit, something like that. Maybe a little bit more than that, maybe 7 points. And of course, you got your QB. You're like, no problem. The QBs, right there. But it wasn't until the fourth quarter that you got above 5. Like, it was right there. It was right there. And then finally get that TD to Cooper. Oh gosh. Boy, Dallas, they were a mess. They were a mess. So Andy Dalton only getting 11 points. Again, be glad you got Drew Brees coming back off of his bye week. All right. Jamal Williams, you hope for more for your Alvin Kamara fill-in. That wasn't an Alvin. That wasn't even close. Myles Gaskin getting you 14. He's turned out to be something. Somewhat of a safe player. So Myles Gaskin, again, things might change with Tua coming in, but Jamison Crowder, granted, he had a really good week when he played against me, and then there you go. He came down to earth there. 8.3. Tyreek Hill, I mean, boom, bust. There's a bust week for you. Again, anytime he busts, but you still get the win, all right. Hayden Hurst coming through with 13. I guess when Matt Ryan gets that many points, the tight end's going to get a little bit. So 13 from your tight end. Not going to complain about that at all, right? And then Tim Patrick. I know he's on a lot of waiver wire shows this week too. A lot of waiver wire shows, and you got him. So nice pre-pickup. I don't know when you picked him up. But you've got him there. All right, looking on your bench here. So yeah, your bye week, IR, Le'Veon Bell. You knew he wasn't going to play because he was in the middle of switching. But I'll tell you, playing Tim Patrick over Michael Gallup, because Michael Gallup's pretty solid. I can see not playing Jarvis Landry, but playing Tim Patrick over both of those guys, I think was. I mean, obviously looking back, hey, that's a smart move, but that took some cojones, took some cojones, and it paid off for you in spades. So there you go. All right, Gallup only getting 3 points. Wow. All right, looking over at Steve with Roy. Again, when you've got these matches this close, you start to, especially when you're on the losing end of these close matches, you're like, oh man, if only the what ifs start drives you nuts, right? It didn't help that your defense goosed you. That didn't help at all, right? But Patrick Mahomes got you 20. That's actually kind of surprising considering how much they did run the ball. They ran it a lot more than usual, and so I think I don't know if the game plan from the Bills were to shut down the wide receivers and let them run. I would assume that's what it was, because Clyde Edwards-Helaire ran all over him, and the wide receivers didn't really do much. Anyway, but getting 20 from him, there you go. Devin Singletary, man, he got shut down. That was something. Buffalo, I think they got a rude awakening there. James Robinson getting you 13. Devontae Parker, with 5. But then A.J. Brown, boom, there you go, 20 points from A.J. Nice. I think a lot like what I was mentioning about Adam is you've got a lineup where you're going to be making a lot of decisions each week, and it's a good problem to have, but it's it has the potential of driving you nuts, right? All right, Austin Hooper 7, and then Mr. Montgomery getting you 11 points. There you go. So a lot of floor and nobody completely boomed, but there were, A.J. Brown getting you 20 was nice. Let's see. So on your bench, Tom Brady getting 14. Really? Okay. Well, with that game, I would have thought he would have gotten more of it. All right. Oh, Raheem Mostert. Oh no. Oh, I didn't realize you had Raheem Mostert. That sucks. Hey, there's Brandon Cooks having a game. And then, Deontay Johnson. Man, got a couple guys where going forward. It's I know bench spots are at a premium. So anyway, but CeeDee Lamb getting 9, and then Allen Robinson getting 7. Obviously I don't think you would have played either of them over Devontae Parker. And I wouldn't. I mean, your lineup is, I wouldn't have played either of them over David Montgomery. He scored more anyways. Yeah, I see. Okay, I see your thinking there. I mean, Brandon Cooks maybe, but anyway. Yeah. Okay. Well, hey, close games are going to get you to analyze things and second guess yourself. Again, as long as you're not just going straight off of the projections from NFL.com. Just do a little bit of research. Little bit. Anyway. All right. Nice close one. Nail biter to be sure. But Scott, he pulled it out. There you go. All right. Both you guys are in the running. I mean, Steve, you're still 4-2. Still 4-2. Upper side of the pack here. And then Scott going to 3-3, going to 500. So very nice. All right. Oh, moving on. We're getting a little bit closer. All right. It's getting tighter. Less than 2 points ended up separating Ryan in the Black Swan event and John the Younger and Nero's Fiddle. And once again, just like a lot of the other matchups, it came down to Monday night. John had a deficit. Now, he had 2 of his stronger players, Zeke and Stephon Diggs, that had yet to play. And this is one of those situations, the projections had him blowing out that deficit. And they barely got it. So, taking a look and seeing what happened here. Starting with Ryan, the Black Swan event. So Kirk Cousins, he pulled a Blake Bortles from a couple seasons ago, where Blake Bortles was the garbage man, dude. It was garbage time, and that's when he racked up all his points. I'm sure, Ryan, you probably said a couple adult words after that first half, right? I mean, throwing 3 interceptions. Oof. I think one of them was his very first throw. Anyway, so to end up with 26 is pretty remarkable. Pretty remarkable from Mr. Kirk Cousins. James Conner getting you the 19, and Jonathan Taylor, getting you just above what I think his floor is. So they didn't do you dirty. In fact, I mean, overall, your team did okay, right? But right now, okay it's not gonna cut it. Juju Smith-Schuster, 1.6. He was another guy that, a lot of the shows I listen to, they're like, hey, do you hold him? Do you drop him? You can't trade him. I mean, not that you can't. You can certainly try, but no one's gonna want him for anything substantial, right? But you do have Calvin Ridley, and he got you 15. Jimmy Graham getting you the 5, and then finally David Johnson with 13. Compared to the rest of the league, that's a solid performance. 110, solid performance. But just wasn't enough. Now, taking a look at your bench here. So, I would say that the bye week messed you up, but not really. Sure, you didn't have Russell Wilson. Sure. But Kirk Cousins, I think, ended up being a fine replacement. So it's not like, oh, if only Russell Wilson was in. Did I say Kurt Russell? Kirk Cousins and Russell Wilson combined to make Kurt Russell. All right, anyways. I mean, but him and Manny Sanders being on bye week, that didn't kill you. I can't imagine you would have played Manny Sanders over someone like Juju, right? And LaVisca, 2.6. All right. Yeah, I mean, obviously it wasn't like you could have done something different. You were pretty much locked into what happened. So nothing to kick yourself about. Look, this week secured last place for you. Now's the time to make some moves. I don't mean like desperate moves, but major moves. You've got some pretty good pieces. And look, I know I'm not you. I'm not managing your team, but you've got some names that could be traded to get you more stable positions. I think I guess is the, look, see who's got some decent wide receivers to support Calvin Ridley, right? And maybe move Connor to get 2. Anyway. Just look at people's needs. Look what you've got. It's never fun. It's never fun to trade guys away. But in the position you're in, I mean, look, I'm not going to lie. I put a lot of trades out last week, and I'm glad nobody accepted, because looking back on it, I would have lost the week. But I put quite a few trade offers out there last week, and they were guys that I didn't really want to get rid of. But anyway, I'm much in the same position. I'm willing to make moves, and where there's a will, there's some trades, right? Okay, moving over here to John the Younger and Nero's Fiddle, making it closer than it needed to be. Again, I don't mean that in a negative way, but with Diggs and Zeke getting you a total of 21 points, I think everybody can agree you expect that. You expect more. Expect a lot more from that duo. All right. But let's see what got you into that position, right? What got you into this squeaking position here, right? Deshaun Watson, it wasn't his fault. No, he got you 35. Oh, Kareem Hunt. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, 6.7 from Mr. Kareem Hunt. That's not expected. That's well below what I would consider his floor, you know. Thielen getting 12. What's the matter, Kirk? Couldn't feed Thielen a little bit? No, had to give a guy on my bench all the points, right? Stephon Diggs getting you 13. So your Thielen Diggs stack again. They continue to be solid. Both of those, you know, they got to their floors, but you expect more from that duo there. Darren Fells getting he looks like he saved your keister there, man. He saved you. Because nobody expects 17 from tight end outside of the top three. And then Gurley only having 8. I mean, considering Atlanta went nuts, I guess it was all through the air. I didn't watch that game, so. But Gurley getting 8 points. All right, so let's see now. You know, you're not gonna question or regret any moves, but let's see if there were some that you could have made that you didn't, that might have made this week make a little more sense. All right. Nope. Nope. Yeah, you did good with your lineup. I mean, both sides of this matchup here, both Ryan and John. I don't think you did anything wrong. This was just, yeah, unnecessarily close. All right. Moving forward, so that puts John up in the 4 and 2, right? So you're in the upper middle class. You finally did it. And then and Ryan, like I said, man, don't be afraid. Make some moves. Try to get out of that last place spot, right? All right. We've got one left. If you thought this one was close, just wait and see what the next one is. Because I know nobody's looked at the game center yet. And then this is it. This is the one. You know, it seems like each season there's one game that comes down to less than 1 point. Well, we had it. We had it right now. So Jeff and the Banana Slugs barely beat out Josh's wet-ass Pips. Look at that. 72.12 to 71.18. Now, granted, it is just under 1 point. But we all know 1 point. It's a heartbreaker for Josh. And a cardiac arrest for Jeff. And it came down to, of all things, the Dallas kicker. I don't talk about kickers and defenses. I mean, in fact, you can see Jeff had a defense that got him -1. So, but let's see how we got here. Okay, so Jeff and the Banana Slugs sticking with Gardner Minshew. God bless you, sir. Such a great move. I freaking love it. I love the fact you're playing Gardner Minshew. 17.6. Now, if you had told me that Cam Newton would have gotten you the same score as Gardner Minshew, I'd have punched you in the mouth and told you to stop lying to me. But, all right. Nyheim Hines, Darrell Henderson. Again, that LA running back situation, Darrell Henderson definitely seems to be the guy with 9 points. Anyway, look, when you have a matchup where the total number of points scored is less than the top scorer of the week, you know both teams had problems. So I'm not going to sit here and be like, hey, guess what? This guy disappointed, and this guy disappointed, and this guy disappointed. You're both disappointed. Just some are a little more disappointed than others. Debo Samuels he did okay, but Mark Andrews he had a down week. Jeff Smith, I didn't even know that guy existed. Who was Jeff Smith? Did you take him because you've got the same first name? Jeff picked up Jeff and played Jeff in his Jeff position. The flex position is now called the Jeff position. I have spoken. I've spoken. I've also been watching The Mandalorian, so I have spoken. So your Jeff position got your 1.3. There you go. That's just ridiculous. And then Jimmy G getting 23. Is he out again? I don't know. Who cares? Because you got Gardner Minshew. Who cares about Jimmy G? Who cares? All right, let's take a look at your bench here. So yeah, Renfro was on your bye week there. Look, I usually do try to look at the players on the rosters before I do this, just to see what happened, especially if they're a surprising play. But I've never heard of Isaiah Ford either. So there you go, Jeff. You got Jeff and Isaiah. Dude, if you ever played them together as your wide receiver 1 and 2, think of the possibilities. Look, and I know you're just waiting for Michael Thomas to come back. Because I think when you have Michael Thomas in there with Hunter Renfrow and then maybe Marquise Brown as you're in your Jeff position, I think then, that's a more stable. You wouldn't have to rely on Jeff Smith and Isaiah Ford for anything. But I love the fact that you have those guys. Oh, that made my evening. Anyway, all right. So, it was just good enough to get you the W. And at the same time, I guess it's got to feel a little bit good that you dethroned Josh. So you got that going for you, Jeff. Now, moving over to Josh's side and the wet-ass Pips. Why did it have to come down to your kicker? What put you in that position? Well, a lot of things. Just looking down your roster. There's floor, below the floor, not even in the house. Holy crap, When Odell Beckham Jr. is in your Jeff position, he only gets you 3.5. Gosh. And Mike Evans, your wide receivers all around. Robbie Anderson's been a player, man, been a stud for you. And even he, that would be his floor. But when he's your top, by far, your best wide receiver for the week, man, you didn't put him in there to be your wide receiver 1. Anyway. Higbee getting you 7, though. Nah. There you go. Mike Davis, absolute floor for him. Joe Mixon. That's why it came down to your kicker. Had a 5-point deficit and your kicker got you 4 points. You had the Dallas kicker. I know. It was the very last possible kicker. Look, and I thought actually, when they did get that final drive and they put Chance Barstool in, I thought for sure they were going to at least try to salvage and get some points. And I was like, hey, they're going to try to get in field goal range. But Chance Barback just handed it off to Zeke, or whoever the running back they used. I think it was Zeke. Just, here you go. Oh, we lost. So 4 points total from the kicker. Gosh. That's a slow and grueling death. Yeah. Man. But I know what I have to tell you. I don't know if you watched the game. I hope you didn't watch that game. It's the kind of sensation that I think the guy from Saving Private Ryan, that got slowly stabbed to death, and the German guy was like, shh, shh, just pushing it. Shh, shh, shh. That's what Jeff just did to you. And then Jeff didn't even have any control. Don't be mad at Jeff. He didn't have any control over your kicker. Don't hold it against Jeff. Don't be that guy. Anyway, look, obviously you're going to expect more going forward. I mean, both you guys are going to expect more going forward. Jeff, you're at 500. There you go, man. There you go. And Josh, you're still up there, man. You're still up there, and you still got a solid team. Just this week, they were like, no, I don't want to play football. I don't want to play football. But looking at your bench, yeah, I mean, no replacements. No replacements. T.Y. Hilton over Mike Evans? Nope. That would have done it. Anyway, all right. Tough beat. Tough beat for you, Josh. Squeaker win for you, Jeff. I hope I'm never in that position. Please, fantasy gods, don't let that happen to me. Either way, I don't want to win like that. I don't want to lose like that. I'm on the verge of multiple embolisms up here. I don't need them. All right. Well, look, that's going to wrap up the head-to-head review, recap, whatever you want to call it. Now, look, going into week 7 here, we're at the midway point. I know I mentioned last week, don't have player bias where you overvalue your players that are on your roster. Those of you guys who need to make moves, even just offering trades. Now, obviously, you don't want to offer just dumb trades that are just going to get rejected outright. But leave a message with them and say, look, I'm open to counter offers. I always try to do that. I'm like, look, here's a trade offer. I'm open to counter offers, and I let them know I want this player, right? And maybe we can work something out. I know it's difficult. The NFL.com platform isn't really conducive for, back and forth talks. It doesn't really have a messaging system. I know some of you guys are using the Slack channel. But it can be difficult, when we got guys in Ohio and guys in Virginia, and not everybody has everybody's number to use the platform to communicate these things. But do what you can. If there's moves you want to make that you feel like you need to make, and some of us, I'm including myself in this, we're in the position where we need to make some moves halfway through, and some things aren't quite working. Some of you guys, who had down weeks, it was down week across the board. Don't go into panic mode just yet, unless that panic makes you trade me Josh Jacobs. But don't go into panic mode just yet. But some of us are we're inching towards that cliff, right? We're inching towards it. Anyway. All right. Well, listen, guys. Week 6 in the books. Lots of changes. Again, no one's running away with it. A lot of people are in the hunt. I still consider myself in the hunt, even though I have a very poor record. A lot can turn around in just a few weeks. If I can go from first to last in 4 weeks, why can't I reverse that? Why can't that happen, right? All right, guys. Listen, have fun, make your moves, and stay safe out there. And I'll see you guys next week.